we call it back to the roots, or there is a very important phenomenon. With the homologation of jewelry and clothing, where everybody copies and everybody's producing pieces in masses, wherever they produce it, and I don't want to give bad publicity anywhere around the world, but these all looking the same has created the anti-trend, in the sense, which is a trend in a way. Sorry for the mixing of the words, but basically, people want to have local jewelry. They're recuperating artisanal pieces. India, and I'm looking at an Indian fence, is a very strong country now because in a way they always kept their artisanalism and their craftsmanship. And this element of recuperating local craftsmanship, and very proud, could be American, could be Italian, could be Turkish, could be Chinese. This thing of not just being industrialized, but this sense of really smelling almost the man who did these pieces, or the woman that put together the beads, and the perfection of the imperfection of having these pieces unique. That makes it unique and beautiful and expressing yourself. So this mix and match of going back to the roots, could be yours, could be somebody else, but really gives a sense of history, of tradition, of heritage, which is very much requested. So this is very strong, this is very big, and you see that the people that are successful at these shows, they're not the one that are all looking the same, they're the one that have a twist, the one that really are working on it. So, hammer surfaces, satin finishes, oxidated metals, everything that really exhumes some kind of history, some kind of love that comes back to history. Color is incredible, like in the last couple of seasons, meaning fall, winter, and spring, summer, is back. I mentioned it before, I said desktop palette, but also circus, and fun, and poetry, and bright color, huge color block, contrasting with each other. Very popular, and you saw it on the mix and matching of color. Multicolor are very, very much give you a sense of life, especially when we are all dressed in black like I am today, but most of the time, you know, we wear a uniform. So a jewelry, a piece of jewel is really striking and is really giving life to what you're wearing. Phantology, we call it phantology, but you can call it anything you want. These jewelry, they're narrating a story, a sense of fantasy, amusing creature, very interesting combination of mix and match of objects, charms. But this jewelry, in general, they are becoming more and more multitasking. As an iPad, as an iPhone, as a BlackBerry, we like objects that can become something else. They are, multifunctional, multi-use, and jewelry should basically be the same. So they should narrate a story. They should be apart and become a belt or become something. And it's nothing new. And it happened, in the 20s and the 40s, which is another important area to look at. We're going to look at it in a second. It doesn't work anymore? So I have to be like, okay, va bene. Graphic, organic. Before we were just mentioning this concept, we were talking about, environmental issue, organic, eco-consumer, etc., etc. Well, nature has always been inspiring the jewelry world since ever. Of course, René Lalique from the beginning of the 1900s, which is very much admired nowadays. It's one of the people that celebrate it. But anyway, this nature is becoming also more abstract, and by abstract becomes like kind of, is becoming texture and finishes and organic. And when I said to you, you need to feel really the craftsmanship behind. And again, in this world of this recycling and economy, green color. The green color, you go to Zara and there are green dresses. And it's like, who decided it's green? Many people is telling me, how come all of a sudden the fashion world, everybody has this, not the fashion world, let's use the word clothing. Because we are fashion. In the past you would say, well, there is fashion and there is jewelry. No. No. Fashion is, you can be fashion, you can be an icon of style regardless. Jackie O was an icon of style. Gandhi can be an icon of life. Michelle Obama is an icon of style. You know what I mean? It's not what you wear, it's who you are, and then you make it popular. It's different. So when they're saying, well, how come the fashion world, the clothing world, everybody decides it is green? Because they do forecasting. Premier Vision, which is a textile exhibition that happens in September and February in Paris every year, and it's been actually, and he actually travels around the world, including New York, among many cities. Basically, these people, these textile guys, in the mid-70s, they realized that they could not sell just fabric, because no one, you know, they didn't know how to sell fabric. You know what they decided to do? To sell information to people that were going to basically mount these fabrics. And that's how, you know, they created this concept of giving information, and they capitalize on information, and that's when the fashion world is organized into trends, and the trends become a way of selling, and it's really much giving back to the consumer what they want. So it's not that you are giving something that you think you're giving, but it's pretty much what they want. If Louis Vuitton comes out with a bag that people don't like, at the end of the day, they don't buy it. But if they communicate it with the actress that they like, because the actress in that moment is aspirational, from a social cultural standpoint of view, and she is the icon of style that resemble what women or men want to be in that particular time in history, that's where the sale happens. See it as money, don't see it as ephemeral. So green is part of this world. Tassel, you saw many tassels, right? A lot of tassel on the floor. Tassels were already forecasted, like over a year ago. I mean, Natalie Portman that won the Oscar with Black Swan, you know, she was wearing, you know, tassels on the stage when she won the Oscar, right? But it was forecasted already. How boring is that? And, you know, and it's at the old Deco time, and the Cartier of the 1920s and 40s, all that celebration of our recent, I mean, relatively recent past, because the 1900s, in a way, it's a recent past, but all the vintage world, which is itself was originally an adjective, vintage was an adjective, because the code was identifying used clothes. They were from the 20s and the 30s, and it actually happened that in the 1980s, celebrities, Hollywood celebrities, wanted to wear in the red carpet unique pieces that were not for sale. And they decided to borrow from important couturiers pieces that would not be for sale. So they went to their archive and they started using these, let's say, old pieces or museum pieces. That's when the fashion of vintage really came out, okay? And vintage, which was a chic way of saying used clothes, became a style. So it's no longer an adjective. It's a style, it's a concept, it's a movement. It is an association to our past, not like historical past, meaning previous to the 1900s, but from the 1900s onwards. So there is recent vintage, it is techno vintage. The PlayStations, the beginning of the PlayStations are part of techno vintage. That is money. So it's not just a phenomenon, it's money. So if you start understanding that everything I'm saying is profitable, you view things in a different way.